It is not about age. It is about the silent breakdown of slow-twitch muscle fibers, the very fibers that keep your body upright every second of the day. While most people look for explosive exercises to feel younger, they damage their joints and forget what truly matters. Strength that lasts is strength that holds. In this video, I will show you 5 isometric Shaolin postures that can replace an entire gym without a single weight, without a single jump, without unnecessary joint pain. But first, you need to understand why Shaolin monks held these positions for hours, because without this principle, none of these exercises will truly work. And it all begins with one posture that 90% of people perform incorrectly. Exercise 1. The reverse tabletop. The reverse tabletop is the exercise Shaolin monks use to awaken the entire posterior chain in one single position. You sit on the floor, your hands are placed behind your body, then you lift your hips until your knees and shoulders form a straight line, and then you hold. This is not an ab exercise. It is a simultaneous activation of the glutes, hamstrings, lower back, and rear shoulders. After the age of 50, this posterior chain gradually loses strength, and this loss often leads to a rounded back, lower back pain, and fear of falling. But very few people know this. The real problem is not just muscle weakness. It is deactivated glutes, a process where the glutes, after years of sitting, simply forget how to contract properly. This is not ordinary weakness. It is neuromuscular forgetting. And as long as this nerve signal is not restored, you can do as many squats as you want. The glutes remain silent. The reverse tabletop forces the brain to switch this circuit back on, because this position is impossible to hold without fully contracting the glutes. Execution. Here is how to do it correctly. Sit down on the floor. Your legs are stretched forward. Place your hands behind your hips. Your fingers point toward your feet. This is the most shoulder-friendly version. There are also variations where the fingers point backward, but those require much more mobility and are not suitable for everyone after the age of 50. Take a deep breath in. Contract your glutes before lifting. Then press your hips toward the ceiling. Keep your chin slightly tucked. Your gaze goes upward, but your neck stays long. Your feet remain flat on the floor. Your knees are roughly at a right angle. Your entire body forms a straight line from your knees to your shoulders. Breathe slowly through your nose, and do not release the tension in your glutes. 3-week progression. Here is the 3-week progression. Week 1. Hold the position for 20 seconds. 3 sets, with 30 seconds of rest in between. Week 2. Increase to 30 seconds. 4 sets. Week 3. Aim for 45 seconds to 1 minute, but only if the tension remains clean. Duration is not what matters first. The quality of the tension is. Transition to exercise. 2. Once the glutes are awake and the pelvis holds effortlessly, the next exercise begins to change the way you walk, because without what comes next, your ankles will continue to fail you on every staircase. Exercise 2. Isometric calf raise. The isometric calf raise is the most underestimated exercise in the entire Shaolin practice, and yet it may determine whether you keep your balance after 60 or eventually rely on a walking stick. You stand. Your heels are lifted off the floor. You hold yourself on the balls of your feet. That is all. No movement, no repetitions, just constant tension in the calves while your entire body searches for balance. The calf is not just a muscle for looking good at the beach. It is often called your second heart. With every contraction, it helps pump blood from the legs back upward. After the age of 50, weak calves often mean sluggish circulation, unstable ankles, and a much higher risk of falling. Very few people know this. The calves are made up largely of slow-twitch muscle fibers, fibers that do not respond primarily to fast movements. So it is not a question of how hard you train. It is a question of the right stimulus. While most people do fast repetitions on the balls of their feet, they often only fatigue the tendons. The isometric hold, on the other hand, targets the fibers that hold, the ones that endure, the ones that catch you when you stumble on the sidewalk. Execution. Here is how to do it correctly. Stand with your feet hip-width apart, preferably near a wall or a stable chair. Place your fingers lightly on the support, but do not lean on it. Slowly lift your heels. Rise as high as possible onto the balls of your feet. Fully contract your calves as if trying to reach the ceiling with the crown of your head. Keep your knees straight but not locked hard. Your pelvis stays neutral. Your abdominal muscles are lightly engaged. Breathe calmly through your nose. The tension must remain steady from beginning to end. No dropping, no bouncing, no swaying. 3-week progression. Here is the 3-week progression. Week 1. Hold for 30 seconds. 3 sets. 30 seconds of rest. Week 2. Hold for 45 seconds. 4 sets. Week 3. Aim for a full minute. Once that feels secure, move to the single leg version. 20 to 30 seconds per side. For beginners or anyone with balance problems, keep both hands on the support during the first 2 weeks. What matters is not the balance challenge. What matters is the contraction of the calves. Exercise 3. The wall sit. The wall sit is the royal isometric posture of Shaolin training, a posture for legs that can stand for a long time without quickly tiring. Your back rests against the wall. Your thighs are parallel to the floor. Your knees form a right angle, and you hold. No weight, no machine, no movement, and yet your thighs often start burning like never before in less than a minute. The wall sit activates several muscles at once: the quadriceps, the glutes, the hamstrings, and the deep stabilizers of the knees. After the age of 50, many people lose strength and muscle mass, especially in the thighs. And these are exactly the muscles that determine whether you can stand up from a chair without pushing yourself up with your hands. But most people make 2 critical mistakes in this exercise. First mistake, the knees collapse inward while holding. This is often not purely a thigh problem. It shows that the side glute muscles are not stabilizing properly. The result, the stress shifts onto the inner knee ligaments. Second mistake, the feet are too close to the wall. Then the knees slide too far past the toes. The pressure lands in the joint instead of the thighs. The rule is simple. The ankles stay directly under the knees, and the kneecaps point in the same direction as the toes, never inward. Execution. Here is how to do it correctly. Stand with your back against a smooth wall. Your feet are hip-width apart and about 50 centimeters away from the wall. Slowly slide down the wall. Stop when your thighs are parallel to the floor and your knees form a right angle. Your knees stay aligned with your ankles, not far past your toes. Your kneecaps point in exactly the same direction as your toes. Press your lower back gently against the wall, but avoid creating a strong arch in your lower back. Your arms can rest by your sides, or you can stretch them forward if you want to increase the difficulty. Breathe slowly through your nose, contract your glutes, and resist the urge to slide upward. 3-week progression. Here is the 3-week progression. Week 1, hold for 30 seconds, 3 sets, 1 minute of rest. Week 2, hold for 45 seconds, 4 sets. Week 3, aim for 1 to 1.5 minutes. The thighs should remain as parallel to the floor as possible. If the position becomes too easy, move to the single leg version. Lift 1 foot off the floor. Hold for 15 to 20 seconds per side. The intensity doubles immediately. For beginners or anyone with knee pain, start with a more open angle. Your thighs are not at 90 degrees, but closer to 120 degrees. Then go a little deeper each week. Exercise 4. The horse stance / Mabu. The horse stance, called Mabu in Chinese, is one of the most famous Shaolin postures of all. Shaolin monks sometimes held it for very long periods before they were allowed to learn a single fighting technique. You stand with your feet much wider than shoulder width. Your knees are bent. It looks as if you are sitting on an invisible horse, and then you hold. That is all. And this is exactly what separates serious practitioners from everyone else. This posture activates several areas at once: the quadriceps, the glutes, the inner thigh muscles, the outer thigh muscles, and all the deep stabilizers of the pelvis. After the age of 50, this exact muscular belt determines whether your walk remains stable and smooth, or whether you begin to move with uncertainty and a wide, unstable gait. Here too, most people make 2 mistakes. First mistake, the pelvis tilts forward. This creates an excessive arch in the lower back, placing unnecessary stress on the lumbar area. The pelvis must remain neutral, almost as if you were letting the tailbone sink slightly toward the floor. Second mistake, the knees collapse inward under fatigue. The knees must actively press outward, exactly in the direction of the toes, because Mabu is not a passive posture where you simply sink down. It is an active posture. Every muscle works against an invisible resistance. Execution. Here is how to do the horse stance correctly. Stand upright. Place your feet about twice shoulder width apart. Your toes point slightly outward, around 15 degrees. Slowly bend your knees as if sitting down onto a low, invisible chair. Lower your thighs until they are as close to parallel with the floor as possible, or as low as your mobility allows. Keep your back straight. Your upper body stays upright. Your chin is slightly tucked. You can stretch your arms forward at shoulder height, or hold your fists traditionally at hip level. Press your knees actively outward. Contract your glutes, and breathe deeply into your belly. 3-week progression. Here is the 3-week progression. Week 1, hold for 20 seconds. 3 sets, 1 minute of rest. Week 2, hold for 30 to 40 seconds. 4 sets. Week 3, aim for 1 full minute. Keep your thighs as low as possible. Keep your upper body completely upright. For beginners or anyone with limited mobility, only go halfway down. Your thighs may be at about a 45-degree angle instead of parallel to the floor. You can also place your feet a little less wide. The depth will come with time. What matters first is the quality of your alignment. Exercise 5. Passive hanging. Passive hanging is the most contradictory posture in the entire Shaolin practice. An exercise where you seem to do nothing, and yet it can change your body from the inside out. You grab a solid bar. You let your body hang freely in the air, and you hold. No pull-up, no lifting, no movement. Just your own body weight decompressing the spine, shoulders, and hips at the same time. After the age of 50, the spine begins to change. The discs become more compressed. Posture becomes shorter. The shoulders become tighter. Passive hanging works directly against this. It stretches the spine. It opens the spaces between the vertebrae, and it gives the body a sense of length and relief again. But many people make 2 mistakes here as well. First mistake, they pull their shoulders up toward their ears as soon as they grab the bar. That is exactly the opposite of what is needed. The shoulders should not tense up. They should lengthen under the weight of the body. Second mistake, they tense the whole body like a stiff board. But passive hanging is not a strength exercise. It is an exercise in letting go. The more you release, the more the spine can lengthen. Execution. Here is how to do it correctly. Find a solid bar. It should be slightly higher than your outstretched arms when standing. Grab the bar with both hands. Your palms face forward. Your hands are about shoulder width apart. Bend your knees so your body can hang freely. Release your shoulders. Let your weight stretch your spine. Breathe slowly through your nose, and with every exhale, let go a little more. 3-week progression. Here is the 3-week progression. Week 1, hold for 10 to 15 seconds. 3 sets, 1 minute of rest. If your grip is too weak, let your toes lightly touch the floor. Week 2, hold for 20 to 30 seconds. 3 sets. Week 3, aim for 40 seconds to 1 minute in a single grip. For beginners, place your feet on a low stool. Carry only about 70% of your body weight on the bar, or use support straps if your forearms fatigue too quickly. What matters is not how long you suffer. What matters is whether you can let go. With a decompressed spine, open shoulders, and a body that has learned how to hold again, you now know the 5 Shaolin postures that can replace an entire gym without a single weight, without a single jump, without unnecessary joint pain. The reverse tabletop, to awaken the posterior chain and the glutes. The isometric calf raise, to stabilize the ankles and strengthen balance. The wall sit, to build the thighs and support the knees. The horse stance, to anchor the pelvis and improve full body stability. And passive hanging, to relieve the spine and shoulders. Now the real question is, do you want to keep chasing trendy exercises that stress your joints? Or do you want to finally build the kind of strength that lasts? The kind of strength that carries you at 60, at 70, and maybe even at 80. The task is simple. Choose just one of these postures today. Hold it for 30 seconds, and immediately feel what Shaolin monks understood long ago. The body does not become strong only through movement. It also becomes strong through holding. If this video helped you, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell, because in the next video, I will show you how to combine these 5 postures into a daily routine of under 10 minutes.